Hi guys, James at Bespoke here, and in today's video we're talking about a new pistol from WE which follows in the footsteps of the AAPO1, which is the WE Galaxy G Series pistol. Yeah, not long after the success of the AAPO1, WE kind of released they were going to be doing the same sort of thing, you know, a Ruger style pistol with a Glock lower. They did a 19 frame as well, and they also did a high capper frame. Obviously the first one that they're going to release is the G Series 1 in direct competition with the AAPO1 from Action Army, and then what I think is as soon as the buzz has died down a little bit on this one, they'll release the 1911 and then the high capper. The high capper, of course, is probably the one that most of us are waiting for. But the subtle differences with this compared to the AAPO1, and I am going to be comparing it to the AAPO1 because everyone out there seems to be doing the same thing. So I was badgered on email and phone calls and Facebook messages about this pistol every single hour of every single day for the past 3 weeks up until they released. And when we released that we had them, we've just been met with whinging and moaning from people, which, you know, they're going to have their own opinions, but it just seemed like this was massively waited for, and then as soon as we announced we had them, people had just either moved on or, you know, were in direct competition with the AAPO1, which has a massive fan base at the moment. But we're going to take a look at it today and we're going to see what it's like. So you'll see it coming in the normal WE style box here. You get a manual, the parts diagram. You get a set of rails for the top and the bottom along with an Allen key to fit them, something that the AAPO1 does not come with in the box. They're usually about £10 more, and then we get the pistol itself. So the main bit of argument that I've seen in both the owners groups and on our Facebook page when we released them is about price. They retail for £140 apart from the silver model, which I think is because they've done some kind of polishing process on the top instead of anodizing, which is £150. Obviously with Brexit and everything going on at the moment, these pistols are coming in a little bit more expensive than perhaps what they would do before. You know, higher custom charges, higher carrier charges. The pistols are going to be slightly more expensive compared to what you would get out in Asia, of course. But it's not as simple as comparing this to the AAPO1 and saying, well, the AAPO1 retails at £90 and this one retails at £140. So therefore, you know, it's far too expensive. It's not as simple as that. So things that you're getting on the WE Galaxy that you do not have included on the AAPO1, no matter who out there says so. First of all, you've got a completely metal upper receiver here. The one on the AAP is plastic. The whole pistol is plastic on the AAP. So you get in the metal upper, which, let's say you go and buy the Black Mamba upper from Action Army, that's another £100. You're spending £10 more than what the pistol cost you just for the metal upper. So just that reason alone, if you were to buy the Black Mamba upper for the AAPO1 and do nothing else, that pistol would be £50 more expensive than the WE Galaxy. So let that just sink in for just a moment. That's not where you stop. You get the rail sets, top and bottom rail sets, which I think on these may be metal, not plastic. I'll have to get them out and check. They look metal, they feel metal, they're very tough. So you're getting a metal rail set. That's £10 extra you don't have to put on, which you would with the AAP. You're getting a set of adjustable iron sights. You're also getting a customized trigger, which the trigger on this pistol is absolutely phenomenal for WE. Not only for WE standards, but for WE Glock standards, which tend to have very good triggers. The trigger on this, let's take a look at this here. It's just so good. The bolt is nice and smooth as well. And I'm just going to do it again. So trigger, you take up there's the wall, and then the brake is just so crisp. Not a lot of pistols get that right out of the box. So that part alone is going to cost you in about £30 to £40. So you can see where the savings start to stack up. At first appearance, this might seem expensive, but you're getting a CNC machined upper receiver, you're getting adjustable rear iron, which, you know, The sights are very nice on this pistol. They're very easy to use outdoors. That's one of the first things I picked up firing it. The finish on the bolt looks more realistic compared to the AAP. The AAP is just like a cast piece of metal. This has the little silver accents on there, which in my opinion makes it look a little bit more realistic, and it just makes it seem a little bit higher of quality. The trigger in itself, massive plus. So to take this thing apart, use a small tool. Got a little screwdriver here. You're going to push the bit at the back there, and it lifts up, and then you have a pin. So just push it with a little screwdriver there, and then I can pull the pin out, which releases the lower from the upper. The upper here, very well made. You've got the adjustment on the hop there. So what you actually do is you tighten this in to reduce the hop, and you loosen it, which then pulls the hop arm down to increase the hop. Very simple and easy to use. There is a bit of a clicker style function on that screw there. It's not crazy. If it was me, once I had this set for the weight, I'd probably put like a tiny bit of sort of weak Loctite on there. But it's very well made, you know. The anodizing is good as well. The selector, from what I've found, is a little bit easier to select from full auto to single auto or semi-auto or whatever you want to do, vice versa, compared to the AAP. The AAP is like fingernail breakable compared to how hard they are. But you can see where they've put the money in. So you take the thread protector off here, which is metal. You've got a 14mm clockwise thread on there. The next thing I want to say about the AAP one and the first batches, they had hammer tools. The hammer was a slightly different design to this more being like a WE Glock 18 style. See if this will focus on this and not my face. So you've got the wheel there, and you don't have that little bit of the hammer that sticks out, which stops that sort of half roller knocking from side to side. Those were the parts that broke on the AAP one from the first batch. They broke pretty much straight away. You're not going to have the issue on this one because it doesn't have that part there to break. So potentially, obviously I'm not going to say for certain, this has the ability to be a little bit more reliable out the box compared to the Generation 1 AAPs, because they did change the hammers. So I'm not sure if the second gen hammers that they did on the AAP ones were breaking as easy. But there you have it. So it's like a Gen 3 style frame. You know, you've got the slimmer mag release as well. The texturing on the grip is a lot more substantial compared to a normal Gen 3 Glock lower frame. You've got the cuts on the trigger guard, the relief cuts. So very easy to take apart and adjust the hop. Very easy to put back together. Just put that back in there. Like I say, the sights, very easy to pick up that front fibre, and shooting outdoors is enjoyable. You know, it's easy to pick up straight away. You're not trying to look and find out where the front sight post is, so that's a plus. But let's see how this thing shoots. First I'm going to chrono it, 0.2 gram BBs, and then we're going to fire it at different ranges with 0.28s, just because that's what I've got in the workshop at the time. It's close enough to a 0.3. From what I can tell you is, when I got in this morning, we did fire a lot of magazines through this pistol, and with any pistol, the more times you gas the magazine and you shoot it, the less efficient it's going to be. But it seemed to handle it perfectly fine. When we were testing it beforehand, we were chucking out some 0.4s, because what we found was we could overhop the 0.28s really easy. So this morning we put some 0.4s in, and it did hop 0.4s out to 40 odd meters as well. But for the fine demonstration, I'm going to use 0.28s. For the first fine demonstration of the 15 meter and the 30 meter test, I used it as it was out the box. I did play around with it a little bit after that, just to see where we could get it settled. But let's take a look at this thing. We'll get it chronoed, we'll get it field tested, we'll shoot a bit on full auto, and then I'll be back on camera to see what we found. Okay, at 15 meters, you have to excuse all the rubbish that's out in the yard today. I'll just have to shoot round it best I can. 15 metres I don't think is going to have a problem. Hop is where it's set out the box and some 0.28, so we'll see how it goes. Easy peasy, let's move back. So we're 30 metres back. Hop is still set where it was, so let's see what we can do. I'll try and do my best for you. I think this could definitely handle some heavier BBs. So we're here back out to 40 metres now. I've put some more BBs in the magazine. I've just put a little bit more hop on, tiny amount, same weight, and with the hop from previous tests that we've had, there's loads of adjustment on it, so you could easily hop, you know, 0.3s, 0.4s, no problem at all. But let's see what we can do. I'll try and do my best at hitting this target here for you. So I think I've added a little bit too much hop. So let me put a few more BBs in. So I've just turned the hop down a little bit, just for these last few rounds here. Obviously you'll see that the shots were going pretty much straight, and then as the hop has sort of settled to where it was, where I've adjusted it, which is normal in any gun, was having a little bit too much, so let's try and carry on. I am hitting the target at 40 metres, which is a hard target to hit. So that target is like less than half the size of a human target, so if there was a person at that distance, no word of encouragement needed, you'd be able to, you know, hit them with a couple of BBs. So great. What I would do is probably go up weight. We're only using 2.8s, so 0.3s, 0.36s, 0.4s are probably recommended. Me personally, I'll probably use a 0.4 for the added accuracy. But yeah, really good results out of this. We'll go up close to target and we'll smack it with full auto before we finish. Right, we're 10 metres away and we've flicked it to full auto. We'll do a quick burst and I might dump the mag, we'll see. Let's see what this thing does. Wow, that's spicy. Let's get back in the shop. So it's about 320, 330 FPS on the chrono, 15 metres, easy peasy, 30 metres, pretty much easy peasy. Again, you know, it's me shooting these pistols. Maybe many of you out there that have better pistol abilities than I. Out to 40 metres I started messing with the hop. I turned it a little bit more on, and then after a few shots I found it was over hopping, so I tried to counteract that but turn it back off again. But we were still able to hit the target at 40 metres. I would highly recommend using heavier BBs with this thing. I would be using 0.4s, which, you know, may yield you better results. Full auto, nice and tasty is what we'd expect it. My thoughts on it from WE, I was, to be honest with WE just recently with a few things that they've released pistol wise, I did set my expectations low. I was, you know, convinced that it wouldn't be able to hop anything over a 0.25. It was a delightful surprise that it could hop up to a 0.4 and beyond. The iron sights are very nice. The pistol is very comfortable and easy to shoot. Me being a Glock fan, I was, you know, comfortable with it straight away. I would have liked to have seen the 1911 and the high kappa versions released at the same time. If I was probably going to pick one of these up for myself, because I do have a couple of AAPs 01s anyway. I have a standard one with a stock on it, and I have another standard one, but it's got the Black Mamba kit on it. So if I was going to pick another one of these up, I would probably pick up the high kappa model, just so I've got something that's a little bit different to what I've already got. It would have been nice. I Probably counterintuitive to the pistol, and it wouldn't have been as streamlined, but it would have been nice to have some way of grabbing onto that pin and pulling it, or perhaps being able to push it a little bit further, because what I did find was trying to get this apart to change the hop, pushing that pin out with the finger or nail is, I can only push it out so far with my finger, which you'll see it's just sticking out a little bit there, and it's not enough for me to grab it. So I did require just a little tool like a screwdriver just to punch that pin out just a tiny bit further, and it gives me a bit of purchase on the pin to pull it out, and obviously then I can break the pistol and change the hop. The way it goes together, it doesn't rock, there's no movement in it at all, it's not loose. You know, now I've tighten the thread protector up. It's not rattling or anything like that, which is very good. The magazines do have a slightly different style gas router to the old WE gas magazines. The newer pistols from them, like the MOSs and such, have this newer style. We have tested older Glock style WE branded magazines, like extended ones, or just like the older ones with the older style routers. They work in this pistol absolutely fine, so that's not a problem at all. I thought I'd grab the gold one just because it was easier to see on camera, but we do have these in gold, we have them in black, we have them in blue, we have them in silver. I think purple we're out of at the moment, but we've got another shipment coming in landing, so we'll have the purple back in stock as well. Purple's nice and fancy for those. Obviously the gold, the blue, the purple will not require a defense to purchase because it's technically a two-tone. The silver and the black obviously will require a defense to purchase. So if you were fancy a nice flashy dashy one and you haven't got a UCARA or other defense set up because of the lockdown, you wanted a gold one, you wanted a purple one, you wanted a blue one, you can just buy them as they are. So this has been the WE Galaxy G series. Really impressed with this from WE, to be honest. Like I said, my expectations were set low because I've been running the AAPs and I know which of a good pistol they are. What I pull away from this, I love the iron sights, I love the fact that you get a metal upper receiver, rails and a fancy trigger included in the box for the price. Yes, it is slightly more expensive compared to an AAP01, but for those bits that you're getting, you're making your money back easily. You know, if you used to put a fancy trigger and a CNC upper and just do that alone on an AAP, you're going to be looking at roughly £240, £250. So you can see where the expense goes. Hope you've enjoyed this pistol. Something a little bit different here. Available on the website right now, bespokeairsoft.co.uk. If you have enjoyed looking at this pistol, let me know in the comments below. If you haven't enjoyed this pistol and you hate the look of it and it's the scourge of the earth, let me know in the comments below anyway. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Bye bye.